Differentiation in a funny kind of way is planning for the unpredictability of a classroom. And that sounds kind of like a paradox. If it's unpredictable, how do you plan for it? But in fact, the longer we stay in teaching, the more we know some things. We know that when we talk about this concept in science, kids inevitably get confused. It happens every year. And so we say to ourselves, okay, rather than letting the confusion creep up on me again, what I'm going to say is I know some kids are going to get behind here. It's tough. They're going to need extra explanations. I know some kids inevitably get this part backwards. And I know I've got some kids in here who are going to get ahead of me. And I've probably got some kids who are lacking background vocabulary because they are every year. So what I'm going to do is plan to make sure that vocabulary is taught before I get the kids behind on it, to have some time where I can reteach when kids need it, to go in with something that I can extend the learning with. I don't know yet who's going to need which thing, and it's certainly possible that this year there won't be anybody who's lacking the vocabulary, or there won't be anybody who learns it extra fast. But I'm going to at least plan with the possibility that somebody will finish today's lesson early, that somebody can't read the textbook, and then with that flexibility, I'm going to be able to reach out to them better. One of the key points that I hope you'll take away from what you see in many of the sessions over the next few days is what we think of as proactive differentiation. I discovered over time that almost all of us as teachers say that we differentiate instruction. You don't find too many teachers who say, heck no, I don't ever differentiate anything, and I don't mean to. There are some. I've met some of them. But most of us, yeah, I reach out to kids. I do stuff to help kids. Many of us have a definition of differentiation that's sort of a reactive one. I come in and I teach the same lesson to everybody. I mean for all of us to kind of stay together. But when I realize somebody's gotten off track, I try to find time to help them. I go over and kneel down by them and try to whisper something else, or I talk with them a bit during recess, or I ask them if they can stay after school, or I try to give them something extra to help them. What we're doing in that situation is improvising help. And it always comes when we realize, whoops, that one-size-fits-all lesson plan isn't working again. Whoops, it didn't work for these 3 kids again today. And then on the spot, we kind of try to do something for kids. I'd much rather have a kid that I like in a class where somebody's improvising to help them than in a class where nobody even notices that they need help. So the improvisation's not a bad thing. It's just that it's really hard to improvise enough to help an 11th grader who can't read the science book. It's hard to improvise enough to help a kid who misunderstood all of the stuff about multiplication last year, and now you're ready to move on to other things. The pre-planning piece is what makes differentiation really robust.